Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of our Echoes from the Field series. And this is our first interview of 2026. And I'm delighted to be joined today by one of the nicest people I've had the pleasure of meeting in our industry, Jacek Słowiński, the CEO of Geopartner Geophysica. So welcome, Jacek. Could you give an introduction to yourself and how you got involved in subsurface imaging?
Yes, thank you very much, Mike. Yeah, my name is Jacek Słowiński, or Jack in English. Yeah, I got into subsurface imaging 25 years ago. I met a guy in Poland, PhD geophysicist, founder of Geopartner company, and at that time he was introducing the in Poland new technique, GPR, ground penetrating radar, and got involved in promoting this technique. And it was a time 25 years ago when Poland just went through really severe floods. So we were using it to monitoring river dikes and then later infrastructure like roads and railroad. So we were the first company using geophysical methods to monitor river dikes, riverbank, and the infrastructure. And then we were starting to add more equipment, services, building the company. And then I decided some years later to divide the company into strictly geophysical. So now we've got two company, Geopartner and Geopartner Geophysica. It's 12 years ago, due to European funds that made really a significant impact in our development, we were able to get seismic recording equipment in 2014, and then we were started to develop those techniques and getting into deeper geology.
Okay, thank you. And maybe talk a bit more about Geopartner or the two entities. Can you talk about, so today, you covered the evolution. What are the types of core activities you do, and what types of projects you work on? What industries do you serve today?
Yes, if, as far as our services, we are not only seismic company, so we do have on board a lot of equipment for non-seismic methods like magnetolorics, induced polarizations, IP, gravity, and other equipment. Also, the one that I have mentioned before for geophysical engineering. So it gives us the spectrum of the clients from different fields, different areas. Oil and gas, of course, it's the main client generally for geophysical services, but mining, geothermal, in the recent years, of course, CCS, right, carbon captures storage, and also, although it's been limited, still some geophysical engineering for infrastructures.
Yeah, and that's nice. It leads into my next question, actually, because it feels to me like the seismic market in Europe has evolved a lot in the last 10 years. It's quite vibrant, lots of opportunities. And I think part of that is from new industries or growing industries starting to use seismic and other geophysical methods. But I wanted to ask you that question. So how would you say the market's changed in the last 10 years in Europe?
No, in the last 10 years, it has changed as we all see the energy transformation, right? Green energy transformation, and whether you like it or not. So the transformation is going on. So it affected that as I observe it, we've got less in this cake. We've got less oil and gas inquiries, and more seismic is it's becoming more and more popular in those other areas like geothermal, CCS, and the mining. It's in recent years, especially what we've got right now on those political discussion, right? The raw materials and other things that are very, very important to for growth, for economic growth.
Yeah, I'm quite jealous as we have a discussion because I'm in the UK, which is continentally in Europe, and we're not doing any of that from what I see. So we're not adopting geothermal, but Europe is, and I think that's the right decision. We're not doing a lot to explore our own critical minerals and can we develop them, whereas Europe is. How do you think the role of seismic has changed or evolved compared to the other geophysical methods you use? So if you compare the use of seismic today compared to the use of EM or passive seismic, maybe. How's the use of seismic changing compared to other subsurface methods?
I think that we are living in a world that is changing due to progress, due to technology impact. Of course, it affects the every part of our daily life. It affects the methods that we are working with, and as I recall, and this is not a deeper perspective, right? For last 10 years, it's been much easier to deploy instruments that became smaller, and since seismic became wireless seismic, we cut those wires, then it became much easier to do
Are there particular areas or industries where you think the value of seismic has grown over time, or do you think it's the same across all industries?
I think that it's seismic is still the most expensive method to reflect the deep geologic structure, but it's been and it's gonna be the the queen of geophysical methods. What we've been noticed that, for example, mining, they were like so welded to the wells and drillings, so they were thinking that seismic it's too expensive, it's not worth it, but from our experience, it's once we show that it's worth it, and it reflects the geology the way that they want it. It's working. It's working for them.
Yeah, it logically makes sense to me. So yeah, because we've seen the same thing, kind of slow increase in use for mining, and particularly as ores or deposits are deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
The money you save by imaging it and just digging or drilling where you need to is phenomenal. You've obviously got the labor of digging out the rocks or however you're doing it, but you're then, if you don't do seismic, you're crushing the wrong rocks and you've got to dispose of those. So it just lets mining be much more targeted. The other area we have seen, and it's really positive, geothermal. I think it's the economics of geothermal, because drilling the well is such a big part of your program. Most geothermal developers are now doing some seismic first to increase the chance of that well being successful, and/or in some countries you can actually insure against a bad well if you've got seismic. So those are two industries where we're definitely seeing seismic grow in value to the end client. Switching topics slightly then, what do you think have been the biggest factors shaping or driving seismic uptake in Europe? So why are people doing more seismic?
Yeah, there are different factors that that of course affects use. As far as seismic, it became less expensive. That's very, very important thing, that especially as we discuss for mining.
Yeah.
I'm drinking from the copper bottle, and recently, few seismic survey for the biggest Polish copper company, KGHM. In last year, we've done the first 3D seismic for them to reflect the deep geology for mine shaft that they're gonna construct. It's becoming more affordable, and of course the images that they are getting are much better, comparing to those images from 70s, 80s equipment. Your equipment is it's becoming better and better, and then there is of course, layer of processing and layer of interpretations, right? And this is also those two API, factors, gives them the better, final result.
And it's very important for all of us because there's a global copper shortage. The more copper we can produce, particularly in Europe, the better for the world, for a number of reasons. So a good project to raise. Have you seen a shift over time in what clients expect in terms of data density, data quality, turnaround time?
Yes, I've seen that there is a demand for dense image, right? So using Stryde sensors, which are light and comparing to other nodal systems, less expensive. We can deploy them in bigger bigger number that it gives the better final results. Absolutely. The density, it's one of the demand. Then the environmental issues. Since we've got wireless nodal system, right, we don't have to block roads. We can do the whole survey more friendly for everybody.
And what about speed? Is the rate, because customers always want their data sooner because then they can make a decision. Are you seeing customers driven by speed of the project as well, or is that secondary to cost and data density in your experience?
The timing, it's always the timing and then the price, right? Those are of course the main factors that's has been and will be the very important for every commercial company.
Yeah.
So this is very important. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll go on to some questions around your experience with Stride, both the technology and the team, if that's okay. You might not know off the top of your head, but roughly how many projects have you used Stride for, and what types of industries?
As far as our experience in Stride, we've done 16 project
Okay.
using Stride. We are mid-size company, and we do also other methods. 16 projects, 7 3D. 7 projects 3D. We've done for various areas, oil and gas, big 3D projects for example, oil and for geothermal, for mining, and also for infrastructure. At the end of last year, we've done, for example, for tunnel, motorway tunnel between Czech Republic and Germany.
Oh, yeah. And I was going to say, you've covered a lot of countries as well. So it's not, you do a lot of projects in Poland, but a lot in other parts of Europe.
Mostly, yeah, mostly actually for recent years, yeah, we've been doing those projects, in Europe, not in Poland. Also, we've got some experience in Asia, Laos, South Korea. We've done 2 projects in Asia, but mostly Europe.
Which is, yeah, it's good. It's good to see you're growing the business around the world. So that's nice. And I get that number of projects, so 16 projects, that's been over about, if my memory's right, which it often isn't, over about 3.5, 4 years. So that's
Yes,
quite a number of projects, really. That's 4 projects a year on average. So
right, right.
yeah, good. Now, you were one of the first users of the Range Plus node, our latest node model. What differences did you notice compared to the original Stride node? Because you've used both. What did you see?
We see the better GPS antenna,
Yeah,
which is very important, different areas of deployment, and it allows us also to stick those nodes firmly into ground, right? And sometimes what we've been doing recently, it's like we didn't have full permission to do the seismic operations, so some of those site nodes we dig them very deep, so even though the farmers could do the harvesting,
yeah,
uh, and they didn't destroy them. Of course, they've been aware. They've been
yeah.
aware, but we could do it, and we got the good signal. So this is quite good.
Yeah, and it's one of the key reasons we released that. But there's a number of reasons why we released that product, but partly it was with wet ground in Europe. So a lot of the seismic surveys are shot when it's wet. Being able to bury the nodes and get good signal in wetter ground is very beneficial for the reasons you've just outlined. So glad to hear that. And how does Strike compare to other nodal systems you've used?
We've got experience only as far as our services with two systems. As I have mentioned, we started seismic survey in 2014.
Yeah,
And the first system that we bought, and we're still using it, it was wireless RD2
yeah,
system. And this is the system that allows the first system that allows the real-time acquisition. But since we bought your system, uh, I think we have used only 2 times the wireless. It's easier to operate with the Stride, and of course, it's much easier for 3D, 3D seismic. And speaking about those demands from the clients, what also I've noticed that nowadays most inquiries are for 3D seismic. That like in the recent years, there was there were also 2Ds, but nowadays because the 3D becoming became more affordable, so people are asking for better quality images, and for 3D, of course.
So you've spoken about our technology. How do you find working with Stride as a team? And then in terms of partnership, has it helped you pursue new opportunities working with Stride, do you think?
We've been in a touch for some time, and I probably mentioned this in some LinkedIn posts, but I remember our first meeting in
Croatia.
Croatia, right?
Yeah.
When we were introduced to you and to your system, and beside the good atmosphere, good restaurant, good wine that I
It was very
always
good. Yeah.
enjoy. So the contact with you, with your company, was always great. Technical support. This is very important for us, that we can rely on a technical support, and we can rely that system is still under development, so there are new features. We've also been contacting you with some issues that resolved. So this gives us the good point for thinking about the future.
Yeah, thank you. And please do keep telling us when you find issues because that's how we improve. So it's very important you do that. I think from our side, the team genuinely love working with you as well, particularly Amy and Selena as well. So good relationships at all levels of the company, which is looking ahead for the next 5 to 10 years. What do you expect to happen in land seismic now in Europe? What's your guess of how things will go?
We at the geophysical world are trying to distinguish the signal from the noise. So this is our key role. I expect that we're gonna have a better signal and instruments that would help to distinguish this good signal from the noise. Uh, One thing probably will not change much as you need impact, you need the seismic source, right?
Yes.
So this, you've got to shake the land, you've got to create the seismic waves. This probably will not change. I'm not expecting the airborne seismic, so we're gonna stay on the ground, but I'm expecting for more density in the campaign.
Yeah, that's a trend we're certainly seeing across all the industries you mentioned, but globally as well. There's a definite trend based on what we see of people going denser and denser in surveys, which is good for yourselves and good for Stride. I personally think, I hope we'll keep seeing more and more geothermal projects in Europe. I think we'll see more mining, and oil and gas, I think, will be quite steady. So obviously lots can change, but I think there's quite a strong outlook for Europe personally.
I've been to Morocco, last week,
Yeah.
right? And for me, it was shock that even there they are thinking about CCS, and so whether it's someone likes or not what's going on in this green transformations, we need to have a better knowledge about deep geologic structure for many areas, right? So that hopefully will give us a job.
Yeah, and CCS is, we should touch on that more because when CCS started, Europe was, I think, quite concerned about onshore CCS. So Europe started off doing offshore CCS predominantly, whereas in America, say that it was onshore CCS what they're looking at. But I have noticed more and more and quite big onshore CCS projects in Europe, which is another promising trend. A lot in Denmark at the moment, but I think that will spread around other areas of Europe because it's something we need to do if you believe in climate change, which I do. And yeah, you need a good understanding of the subsurface to work out where's a good injection site and will the CO2 stay there. So I think that could become quite a big seismic market. One last question. There's still end clients out there, so operators who are a bit skeptical about using seismic for exploration or characterizing existing prospects. What would you say to them if they were listening?
I think if somebody's explorations, and if it's gonna drill some dry holes, not productive wells, then down the road he's gonna turn into seismic. We had unfortunately such examples of in Poland. In recent years, the former government had geothermal program and was giving money for local counties to promote geothermal, and it was very good, but the fund was just for a drilling. So so some of those wells went just for non-productive wells. So it, and as we know, of course, it depends on how deep the production well is, but usually the cost of the one well it's 10 times or much more than seismic, 3D seismic. So you've got to have a knowledge, where to drill, just to save money.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So my message would be if someone's considering drilling, come and talk to you first, because
Yes.
probably you can de-risk their program quite significantly. I do want to come back over to Poland. One thing you've been kind enough to do is let me out on the crew, which I always enjoy. So hopefully I'll come and see you in person soon and get out on a project. But if not, certainly EAG will be there. So thank you very much, Jacek. It's been a pleasure talking to you as always. And please pass on my thanks to the wider team, Marek and the others. We love working together. It's been really good to get your perspectives on the growing market in Europe for subsurface imaging, not just seismic, but more broadly. And I think a lot of the people watching will be maybe surprised that the European market is so vibrant. It's certainly when we started Stryde, I wasn't expecting Europe to be as big a contributor to our success as it is, and I'm delighted it has been. It's quite a vibrant market across a number of industries. So really appreciate you taking the time.
Okay. Thanks a lot.